It's working.
Victory. So, hello everybody. We want to start by welcoming you to our live chat. We will now, at least until spring, be here every week, live during Icelandic lunchtime.
Yeah.
So we're 12:30 GMT or 1 GMT, like now. We'll see what happens. And to talk about spirituality and various topics related to spirituality and just our personal experiences and how we are supposed to be spiritual beings in a world that's full of chaos.
Yeah, that's something that we are going to talk about with our Icelandic clients next week.
Yeah.
So how to be, how to sense the peace and quiet while there is a storm raging outside of us. But that's something that we will do for our English followers in March.
Yes, but until then, we have a series of online workshops at the end of each month, and we will start at the end of January, on the 29th of January, with a online workshop called The Elementals Around You.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Iceland is obviously famous for its elementals and how close we are to nature, and people can say it's easy to imagine all the different beings around us here because of this nature. And we have a lot of experience working with the elementals, not just here in Iceland, but in different countries. So we're going to talk about our experience and share how you can connect to the elementals around you.
Yes. It's wonderful to connect with your neighbors, your lovely neighbors, because they are most of the time very lovely.
Yeah.
Yes. But today we are going to talk about a topic that we discussed earlier today in our Icelandic live chat. And the topic is there a reason for everything that happens in our lives? Are there any coincidences? And can we really affect the course of our lives?
It's a huge topic.
It's a huge topic, and we could probably have a very long live video about it, but we will try to summarize, see what comes to us.
Yeah.
But the short answer is yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's a simple we're done for today. Thank
you. Yes. At least our truth is, and we always emphasize that there are many truths out there, and your truth does not have to be my truth, and vice versa. But our truth is that our soul is here to grow and to ascend. And to be able to do that, we decide various growth projects, we can say, through various lifetimes. And we come into each life with a goal or an objective that we want to attain. And therefore, we believe that we have laid out maybe a very rough blueprint of what we want our life to be, or what we want the conclusion or the growth to be from our lives.
We call it soul contract that we have made. It might be related to people we connect with and some challenges we work through or not, because we always have our free will.
Yeah.
And there is so much that can happen in life, and we believe that most of it is not a coincidence. Obviously, yes, we call it a coincidence for a reason, but is it really a coincidence? There is a reason for so many things. So if we think about all the things that are happening, and when we are choosing to come here into this lifetime, into the body we are assigned, into the family we choose, there are always lessons to be learned. And we might not see it when we are in the difficulties, but when we start reflecting and reviewing and looking back at our history and what we have been through, we can usually see a thread that we can link to something that we have chosen to go through. There are so many things, like We can be born into a family with a specific challenges, let's say. We can that have, all families have their own patterns. We need to work through those patterns so that we can release them, and so that the people that come after us, our children and so on, so that they don't need to work through this. And we can also, as a soul, have certain things we need to work through, so that we can release it and not have to repeat it lifetime after lifetime.
Yeah.
And we have looked into this quite a lot through past life regression and through meditation and other things that we sometimes are repeating ourselves.
Yes,
Through
and
life after life.
in our experience, life always has a way to trip us if we're not listening, because our soul knows, and every spiritual connection we have knows what our soul is here to do. And that's why they all line up, our guardian angels and all our spiritual guides, they line up to try to help us to get that goal, or to get the growth that we want from this life. But often we are quite stubborn, and we go against our instincts, we go against our hearts, and we are traveling away from the growth that we want to have. And we did that for a very long time. When we were living our other life, when we were in the corporate world, and we weren't listening to our hearts, and it led to very serious life exhaustion for both of us. And that was, I think it was the only thing left for the universe to do. It was just to kind of throw us
Against the
wall, because we weren't listening. We didn't listen to anything else.
We didn't notice the signs. We didn't listen to our inner calling.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that we didn't notice the signs. I think, like in every and related to the topic, I mean, can we affect the course of our life? We, various times along the way, probably multitude of times along the way, when we were heading in the wrong direction, we were offered opportunities to choose where to go, to change, do something else, but we always chose to go in another direction. We chose not to listen to our intuition and to our hearts.
Because we make decisions each and every day.
Yeah. So even though we have a rough blueprint of our lives, it doesn't necessarily mean that that will be the conclusion. Because we have the free will, and we can decide halfway through that we're just not going to do. It's too hard. We don't want to do it anymore. And that will probably mean that we will go through this lifetime without that particular growth, but maybe gain some other growth along the way. Then we just have to come back to do the class again,
as we have discovered that we have done.
Yeah.
And and if we go through and we look into past lives, then it's so easy to find patterns that we are repeating until we work through and release. And that's why we can say we can affect the course of our lives, and we create so much with the way we talk, the way we think, what we do, and with how we show the universe what we want.
Yeah.
And we all know, well, I think Iceland is quite known for loving mediums and psychic mediums. It's very popular here to go and visit people, especially at the beginning of the year. What's going to happen this year? The medium can say, well, everything is going to be amazing. You have great opportunities. You can do this and you can do that. Or the medium could say, well, everything is there is nothing great ahead. It's a bit dark, a lot of challenges, and so on and so forth. This is all an option for us. These are all our possibilities, and there are always a huge number of possibilities ahead of us, but we need to choose and decide what way to go. And we need to choose each and every day, and we create so much ourselves. And by connecting, with us, with our heart, with our soul, then it becomes so much easier to choose the really best way for us.
Yeah, we can say that the psychic medium is offering us a scenario, a possible scenario. If it's a bad scenario, we know that life goes up and down. We will have some bad times, we will have some good times, and everything in between. But it doesn't mean that we have to sit and wait for the bad thing to happen. We just have to prepare and make sure that we love ourselves enough and prepare ourselves enough to be able to handle whatever comes our way. But if the psychic medium says that everything is going to be so exciting and you have so many opportunities, but then at the end of the year, you feel like nothing has really happened and no good opportunities have come your way, it probably means that you haven't taken the necessary steps towards those opportunities or dreams. You can't just be a neutral participant. You have to show the universe what you want in a decisive way.
You need to take steps.
Take responsibility also for your life. It doesn't matter if it's good things or bad things. Everything happens for a reason. We were asked if everything happens for a reason. And if we look at the truth that we've been talking about, then yes, then everything happens for a reason. But that fact can be really, really hard to handle, especially when we are going through very rough times in our lives, when we are maybe, for example, followed my mom through a very difficult brain cancer, and she passed away after 3 years of fighting the cancer. And it was really hard for me to hold on to my life vision of everything is as it should be when I was going through so much pain. And when we are going through pain, or when we see something really unfair happening, especially to children or to people that can't defend themselves, it's really, really difficult when we are in the moment to find the lessons. But after we come out of the lessons, and I can only speak from personal experiences, after my mom passed away, and after when I was through maybe the worst of my grieving, I could look back and I could see, okay, this was a really difficult period, but what has changed? How has this changed my family dynamic? How do we support each other now versus how we supported each other before? How do we communicate? What growth has happened in our both as a family and then in our personal life as well? And then I could also see, because we are different individuals in the family, that we all handled things in a different way.
Mm.
And it's not until afterwards that it's possible to, at least for me, in my experience, to see the growth and the opportunities that come from really, really difficult situations. And sometimes it's almost impossible. No matter how long time passes, I think it can be really, really difficult.
Yeah. But then we can choose not to have that control us. And I think that's when we choose difficult families to join for this lifetime. It can be really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
But there is always a lesson. And if we go through a difficult childhood, for example, then that's not something that needs to define us for the rest of our life. And there is always a good lesson. And I can speak from experience there. Just to break those patterns. And it's so important to really to do that and to work through those things and in that way impact course of our life.
Yeah. It always comes down to what we choose to do, what choices we make in our lives. We can choose to be victims, we can choose to be winners, we can choose everything in between. But in our experience, the best path to choose is to take responsibility and to try to look at how we can grow through our experiences, no matter how difficult they are. And I think between the two of us, we have quite a big chest of difficult experiences, life experiences with us. We are very old souls with a lot of trauma in this life alone. And then we had the question of if there are any coincidences. And if we look at our life path, that we always come to crossroads where we have the possibility to decide which way to go. And right after we choose, something arrives that we call a coincidence. But is it a coincidence if it's the fruit of our decision to go into a particular direction? I don't think so.
No.
I think it's just a cause and effect thing. We made a choice and then this happened.
And I think it's getting stronger and stronger, how our mind is attracting things from the universe.
Yeah, and that's why we have to be really, really careful, like Alma said, about how we think, how we speak about ourselves, how we speak about our lives, how much energy we put into things. For example, we choose to focus on what we want into our lives and not to give what we don't want almost any energy at all, because we don't want that to grow. We want the other positive things to grow. And that's where we put our focus.
And that's why when we do have challenges, because obviously we do have challenges like everyone, our life didn't become perfect because we are spiritual and we work with spirituality. But we can sort through things much faster. We can work through things faster than before. We try our best to tackle things as they come up. And it's good to have friends that support you, and also to have honest people around that can tell you, okay, this is not okay. You need to go and you need to deal with this.
Yeah.
And we need to have the courage to really step up and deal with the things that come up, tackle the challenges. It becomes easier and easier with everything that comes up, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's why, because of our experiences, we have this deep passion of redefining spirituality. It's just redefining what spirituality is. Spirituality is not about wearing just white clothes, going to yoga twice a week, meditate and float above the ground. That's not spirituality. Spirituality is to be in a have an active connection and relationship with your heart, and to listen to where your heart wants to take you, and take responsibilities for the choices you make, the good ones and the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's spirituality.
Yeah.
And to connect with, of course, everything around us, especially the earth and the energies that live or cohabit the earth with us.
Exactly.
Like we will do at January's workshop.
It's a practical thing.
Yes.
It's a practical thing that makes our life easier.
Yeah.
Even though it can be challenging.
We will put a link to the workshop in the first comment below on Facebook, and we'll put it in bio on our Instagram account. If you have any suggestions about what you want to hear us talk about in our live chat, then please send us a message or write it in a comment below, and we will definitely take it into consideration when we decide on what to speak about next.
Exactly.
Yes.
We look forward to hearing from you and hopefully see you in the workshop at the end of January.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.